Canto 16. Summary. Having left the first group of sodomites, the clerks, our pilgrim meets representatives from the second group, the ones it was not fit for Latino to be with. These are aristocratic politicians, lawyers, and otherwise influential men. This is indicated not only by their names, which we learn later, but also by Virgil's insistence that these are souls toward which one ought to be courteous. The three that come to meet Dante, having recognized his garments, are also from Florence. It is fitting, therefore, that their conversation centers mostly on their city and laments its increasing levels of corruption and greed. The pilgrim recognizes instantly who these three are and pays them the reverence due to their position in society, as well as to their own words and deeds. Like Latino, they are eager to rejoin their party when the conversation is complete and race back. The pair approach the cliff's edge, where the runnel from the phlegethon that ran over the burning sands empties out into an abyss. Dante gives Virgil his belt, and Virgil throws it over the edge, apparently getting someone's, or something's, attention. It works, as the canto closes with the image of a swimmer coming back up to the surface. Like that swimmer, something is rising through the air to meet them. Canto 16. Blasphemers, Sodomites, and Usurers. Already I was there where the rumbling water that fell down to the next circle sounded like the rumble of a beehive, when three shades running together broke off from that party that was passing beneath the downpour of a bitter punishment. They were coming toward us, each one crying out, "Hold on! You who from your garment appear to be one of our own depraved city." Ah, the lesions I saw on their members, recent and old, scorched and burned by the flames. It hurts me still, even to remember. At their cries, my teacher tarried a while. He turned his face to me and said, "Now wait, one ought to be courteous toward these souls. And were it not for the fire the nature of this region showers down, I would say that their haste would be more fitting in you." They began once again, as we rested, to chant their old woes. When they had joined us, all three of them made of themselves a wheel, as is the habit of champions, oiled and naked, to check their grip and vantage before they dive into the blows and jabs. So they wheeled about, each of their faces looking straight at my own, such that their feet kept moving contrary to their own necks. "If the misery of this shifting sand renders disdainful both us and our prayers as well as our burnt faces," one began, "scorched by the flames, let our fame bend your soul to tell us who you are, whose living feet so confidently tread through all this hell. This one, in whose footsteps you see me plod, though he goes about naked and hairless, was of better degree than you might think. He was the grandson of good Guadrada. Guido Guerra was his name, and in life he did much with his good sense and his sword. The other, threshing the sand next to me, is Tejaio Aldobrandi, whose voice in the world above should have been valued. And I, that am placed with them on this cross, was Jacopo Restacucci. Surely my wild wife harms me more than anything. If I had been shielded from the fire flakes, I would have cast myself down between them, and the teacher would have permitted it, I believe. But as I would have been burned and cooked, fear overpowered my good will, which made me eager to embrace each one. Then I said, "It was not disdain, but pain that your condition so fixed within me, and such pain will but slowly fade away, as soon as my Lord said these words to me, words which made me understand that people such as you yourselves were drawing near. I am of your city, ever always are your works and your honored names proclaimed and attended to with great affection. I leave the bitter and head for sweet fruits that my truthful leader has promised me, but first I must fall down to the center." "So may your soul long conduct your body," then responded that one, "and so may your reputation ever shine after you. Tell us whether courtesy or valor dwell in our city, as was their habit, or if they are utterly gone from her. Guglielmo Borseri, grieving with us a short while, who goes with our company, has greatly afflicted us with his words." A new people with their rapid profits have given birth to hubris and excess in you, Florence, for which you now lament. Thus I cried aloud with uplifted face, and the three who took that as my response looked at each other as one looks at truth. If it costs you so little, they all said, to satisfy others at other times, happy are you who can speak your pleasure. Therefore, if you manage these dark places and return to see the beautiful stars once more, when you can say, I was down there, make sure you speak of us to the people. After this they broke apart their circle, and their lean legs seemed like wings to the flight. Not a single amen could have been said any more quickly than their vanishing. With this, my master seemed ready to go. I followed after. We had only gone a short distance when the sound of water was so near that to hear each other speak could hardly have happened. As that river that takes its own course from Monteviso eastward to the left of the Apennines, up there called the Aquacheta, before cascading down into its lower bed and abandoning its name at Forlì, rumbles there above San Benedetto dell'Alpe, falling in one gushing stream where there ought to have been 1,000 more. In this way, pouring down that sheared cliff face, the blood-stained stream resounded in our ears, such that they would have soon been much injured. I wore a cord wrapped tight around my waist, and earlier with this belt I had thought to catch that leopard with the spotted pelt. After I had unwound it from my waist, just as my leader had commanded me, I gave it to him knotted and bundled. Wherefore, turning himself on his right side, keeping some distance away from the edge, he threw it down into that deep abyss. And yet something new must respond to this, I was saying to myself. To this new sign the master follows closely with his eyes. Ah, how cautious men ought to be near those who not only see our works, but also observe within, with sense, our very thoughts. He said to me, At once it will rise up, that which I await, and you imagine. Soon it must reveal itself to your sight. Always, with the truth that looks like a lie, man should keep silent as long as he can, for it brings great shame, though without the guilt. But I cannot now keep silent. I swear to you by the strains of this comedy, reader, so may they long enjoy favor, that I saw through that heavy and dark air a figure come swimming upwards toward us, marvelous even to the bravest heart, as one returns, having dived in the sea, at times, to loose the anchor that is stuck either on a rock or on something else, who spreads out his arms and draws up his feet.